welcome to Turn the Page, the official podcast of the Syosset Public Library.
Welcome to Syosset Library's Turn the Page podcast. I'm your host, Jessica. I am here today with the author Annie Mare.
Yes.
And I'm here to chat about a book that has like the perfect title that if you see the title, you have to read it because you want to know what it's about. It's called Cosmic Love at the Multiverse Hair Salon.
Yes.
And wow, like that is a title. And it's a book, a good one. And that a really, really cool romance about two women who meet and begin to fall in love and text each other, but they're like 5 months apart. Wow. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then just about where the whole concept of this book came from?
Yeah, sure. So I am writing from the Midwest. So I live in Wisconsin, and this book is set in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where I live. And this is my debut solo fiction, though I also write as May Marvel with the author Ruthie Knox, which is queer romance. And we write mysteries together as Ruthie Knox and Annie Mare. So I'm pretty excited about Cosmic Love. The concept really came from wanting to really dig as deep as I could into a feeling or a set of feelings. And really there are those sort of more pleasant existential feelings, like feeling like somebody you've just met is like home or familiar, or like you know them, or love at first sight, or the sense that like this person is going to be important or this place is going to be important. These sort of ineffable feelings that are really shared in humanity, like they're feelings that we understand, but often assign a kind of spiritual or metaphysical explanation for. And so I thought, like, what if I could really ground those feelings in like a natural world explanation, and write something that put some of the more complex and like out there concepts in science, like, and really grounded them in our ordinary world. And so that's kind of where this came from.
It was a really fun story. It starts out with a not so meet cute, but it is cute,
Right.
where Meryl texts Tressa Fay, who is our other protagonist,
Yes.
and Meryl is stood up,
Yes.
seemingly stood up,
Yes.
and is texting the woman who stood her up, and
Yes.
ends up accidentally texting Tressa, and they like each other and they're in the same space. So Tressa goes to meet Meryl,
Yes.
but
Right.
Meryl's not there. And it's like this whole like misunderstanding early on where Tressa's like, clearly this person was catfishing me. This is so
Right.
disappointing, but then finds out from other people who know Meryl. And again, like, I don't want to get too much into them
Right.
because it's, it's part of the whole story that yes, Meryl is a real person. Meryl likes Tressa very much, but they were so far apart in time. Like it wasn't like they like a missed connection.
Yeah.
They were literally 5 months apart, and
Yes.
it really just kind of plays with time travel and just like meeting people and how relationships grow in such different ways. Like when you hear that old trope, like, I wish I knew you sooner.
Yes. Yeah. And that is, definitely that's something that I've, like I've thought so much with my wife, like, what if we could have known each other for longer, like known each other for always? And and yeah, like there's sort of a cast of characters where we kind of explore out that very idea, like where and when we meet people. And if you're talking about the multiverse, the idea that we never really lose anyone, and the people that we love, like we could have met multiple different ways, like over multiple different universes and different kinds of like meet cutes and circumstances and trajectories for that relationship. um as like a very romantic idea. So yeah, definitely, for sure. And yeah, and I don't think it's too spoilery to say that this is this is a book that tells like the story of their romance, like both um linearly, but also from different perspectives in time. So, which, you know, was definitely the most difficult part of it, was working out how to tell a story that isn't like sort of a straight time travel where you're dealing with visiting a place in time and like the paradoxes that might result, but like all time happening at all times, all these universes being sort of sandwiched together next to each other, like infinitely. Like, how do you engage the reader with the development and of a love story and the like arc of these characters, while still having that big multiverse feeling, that big universe feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was done well, and I think part of it also had to do with the ensemble cast. And the hair salon itself.
Yeah.
So Tressa is like almost like a celebrity hair stylist, and I really loved the way that she described people's haircuts, and like she really just loves her craft. She
Yeah.
loves what she does. It's art to her, it's intimate to her. So why a hair salon?
Well, I think that a hair salon seemed to me very natural because a hair, this is definitely a queer story and a love letter to the queer community. And a hair salon is oftentimes the first stop for um, identity and self-expression for marginalized communities. Like, it's that first step into the expression of identity, or to heal like certain aspects of an identity. And Tressa Faye has like opened her doors in that way, specifically to that community. And so then it becomes like this central point at which like people move in the salon, and they move out of the salon, and we're able to see sort of snippets like in their haircuts and their little micro stories about how that works, and how it is that and there's sort of one haircut that comes back in multiple permutations of the universe, in the salon, where we know that that was like the perfect haircut, the right haircut, like the ultimate like self-expression haircut, because it appears in every universe. And I sort of loved that idea, because for Tressa Faye, it's never just hair. Like, don't ever say that. And I think that that is an important, that's true for people who are in the process of fully expressing their identity. It isn't just hair. So, and I did like the idea of the contact between Meryl and Tressa Faye to have the potential for like that intimacy. So yeah.
I mentioned before just that there's a really nice side cast, and we get glimpses of the situation from them as well. Like they're very much a little multiverse in themselves. And while Tressa Faye and Meryl are sort of changing each other's pasts and futures, this is like, it's like a ripple effect, right? It
Yes.
ripples through the people who love them too. And I thought that that was a really nice touch.
Thanks. And I mean, I think that that's obviously true, but also a way to, craft wise, a way to ground the reader so that they can kind of experience it from a couple of different angles. But also just the importance of that found family and recognizing that those relationships are also embedded. Like when we say like someone is home or love at first sight, we don't necessarily have to meet a romantic partner. Like there are people who are in our lives that do like ripple across the universe. And there's ways that this predicament that Tressa Faye and Meryl are in give everyone in this friend group, and like also Tressa Faye and her father and Meryl and her sister, an opportunity to heal some things that have been wounded for a long time between them. Conversations that needed to be had, like between Tressa Faye and her friend Lynn's, that like hadn't like had the right moment to happen, but now suddenly they're able to recover those moments where they might have like talked about them and talk about the thing and make their relationship even better. And similarly, Tressa Faye lost her mom and her dad lost his wife, when she was just 3. And so it's been the two of them this whole time, but he's a very sort of typical, more shut down, circumspect Midwest guy. And, Tressa Faye isn't that. And so there has been difficulty between them connecting in the ways that we learned that they wish that they could. But then this gives them the opportunity. We are able to see their relationship develop and reclaim different spots for them to do some healing, and to do some healing related to the loss of, his wife and her mother. Because certainly when you start thinking about time non-linearly, you start to think about loss and how loss really works. And I was interested in how it is that even when we lose someone, there's a way in which that we become more intimate with them. Like, like there's those things that stick with you forever and ever. And a long time ago, I read a poem by Tess Gallagher. And it was a book, it's her book of poems, Moon Crossing Bridge. And it's about when she lost her husband, Raymond Carver. And she has this lovely poem about, rattling around in her house now that her husband has died. And then realizing, like, now that I am never alone. She's in the bath and she sort of realized there's a way in which I'm never alone now. Like he's always here, in a way that, before he died, we were apart from each other and came back again. We missed each other. We had periods of long distance, like all of those kinds of things. But loss reconnects us to their constant presence. And so I was able to dig into that a little bit too.
Yeah, no, that fits the story very, very well. And there is a lot of found family in it too. I
Yeah.
think you do get that by the time their relationship is developing on either end of the timeline, their friend group becomes sort of embedded in one another. And it's really just nice and important. And when all is said and done, everybody is a big part of their love story.
Yes. Yes. And of each other's different love stories too. Yeah. It is. It's like it is kind of like a big love fest at the end. But it was a great opportunity to write something hopeful and joyful like that.
It was really nice. I mean, So is this a story or like a world that you would come back to at any point?
Well, it's funny because I've had that. I didn't actually anticipate that question, because first of all, it was a difficult book to write. Like there was a lot of like revision and like reimagining and rewriting and that kind of thing. But yeah, I've had that question a bit. And what I would say is I would never say no. Like my next book with my editor isn't from this world, although it is in Green Bay and it is sort of, fantasy speculative as well. But I would, never say never. Like these were very fun characters to work with. So I can, yeah, I can see that.
Thank you so much. It is a delight. Cosmic Love at the Multiverse Salon, Hair Salon. Cosmic Love at the Multiverse Hair Salon. It is as much fun of a read as it is to say the title.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we are going to close this chapter of Turn the Page.
It's time to close this chapter of Turn the Page. Join us for the next episode.